Animation, the CSDB celebrating 150 years logo. Text, 1961 to 1980. A woman signs in American Sign Language in the corner of the screen throughout the video. Archival films, Martin Luther King, March on Washington.
I have a dream that my poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
By 1961, the civil rights movement was well underway, and great strides would soon be made for equal rights.
Soldiers running, John and Jacqueline Kennedy in a car, 2 women crying.
There was also a war in Vietnam. And in 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated.
Colorado Index article.
Afterwards, a student wrote in the Colorado Index, "We should all fight for the cause of peace in this troubled world today. This is the foremost goal which John Kennedy has striven for."
Animation, student driving a car, students watching nearby wear red and white.
At CSDB, driver's education students learned by driving a 1957 Ford station wagon. And school spirit was celebrated with Red and White Day.
Photos, Superintendent Stell and tour check.
When school ended in 1961, Superintendent Roy Stell left CSDB, and Dr. Armand Turchek was elected. He'd worked at several schools for the deaf. Under his leadership, the campus expanded to include new buildings.
Photos of stone building exterior and students learning each vocation.
The first was the stone building for vocational classes in 1966. It originally included a print shop with a darkroom, woodworking, upholstery and dry cleaning shops, a drafting room, and a metal shop for auto repair. There was a business education classroom and shops for blind and elementary students. A new home economics room with a kitchen replaced the model cottage classroom.
A student washes his hands while a teacher smiles.
Independent living skills are still taught in this room today.
Photos of baking, painting, and a student with a drill.
Vocations like baking, cosmetology, gardening, and painting were offered in different locations. By 1969, students had the opportunity for off-campus work experience.
Colorado Index article and photos of first preschool students.
In 1968, the first preschool for students who are deaf began. The program was led by the Junior League of Colorado Springs and was held in the basement of Brown Hall 2 mornings a week. There were 10 students the first year.
2 articles and an ASL class photo.
Around this time, summer workshops for preschool-age students and their parents and community ASL classes began.
Photos, Lions exterior, Lions cafeteria, 3 men reveal a plaque, smiling students.
Also in 1968, the Lions building opened as a cafeteria, social hall, and snack bar for students who are blind. It was fondly called the Lions Den. After the official ceremonies, students celebrated its opening with a hippie lovin' themed costume party and dance.
Photos, Adams exterior and classrooms.
At the start of the 1969 school year, the Adams building opened. The new building for students who are blind had 9 classrooms, a music room, an auditorium, and a library.
Photos, students with earphones sit at desks with large typewriters.
Each desk had an outlet to plug in tape and record players to play recordings of individualized lessons.
Colorado Index article and photo of lockers.
100 lockers were installed, and students marveled, noting they were just like public school.
Photos, Turchek and Dawson.
In 1974, Dr. Turchek retired, and Robert Dawson became superintendent. He'd most recently worked at the Florida School for the Deaf.
Colorado Index articles, photos of track and volleyball.
By this time, there were many new sports and activities, including student council, junior achievement, Special Olympics, and girls' competitive volleyball, track, and gymnastics.
Photos of a wrestling team, students playing handbells and students in Red Cross uniforms.
Wrestling was now open to all boys. There was a handbell choir, and students participated in a Red Cross program, which allowed them to learn new skills and visit nursing home residents.
Photo, Argo Basement Social Hall.
A teen club for socializing and snacks was added to the basement of Argo Hall. In 1971, a new football field and track was built on the other side of Pikes Peak Avenue.
Photo of each edition.
In 1973, a pool was installed in the gym.
A bridge under construction.
And in 1974, a bridge over Pikes Peak Avenue provided a safe way to cross the now busy street.
Photos of Gary Washington competing in each sport.
In 1971, track, football, and basketball star Gary Washington competed in the Junior Olympics in track. He was honored at the White House by President Nixon with the Most Courageous Athlete Award.
Photo, Gary and Coach Cisneros with President Nixon.
Impressed with his football prowess, the president hoped he'd be recruited to play for the then Washington Redskins.
Photo of Gary. News articles.
Gary has been honored by the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame, the Colorado Coaches Association, and the United States Deaf Sports Federation.
Photo, 1973 Deaf Olympics track and field team. Snap zoom to Gary.
In 1973, he went to the Deaf Olympics in Sweden,
News articles.
where he won 3 gold and 1 silver medal in track events. He went on to play football at CU Boulder. In his final game, he had a 72-yard run for a touchdown.
Animation, Gary Washington heroically being carried by his teammates.
He was carried off the field on his teammates' shoulders with a standing ovation from fans.
Colorado Index article and photos of Walter and the Deaf Olympics wrestling team.
Many other CSDB students have competed in the Deaf Olympics over the years, including wrestler Walter Von Felt, who went 4 times. He won 2 silver and 2 bronze medals.
Wrestling trophies and state championship plaques.
In the 1970s, the CSDB wrestling team won the district championship 4 times, and many students were state champions in their weight class.
Photo of Fidel Martinez.
Beginning with Fidel Martinez.
Photo of Jesus Contreras.
Jesus Contreras, his nephew, was a 3-time champion.
Football photo, Gary Washington running the ball.
With Gary Washington as running back, the football team had been Black Forest League champions twice.
Football trophy, photo, 1977 football team.
It wasn't until 1977, however, that they went to the state championship.
News article with the headline, Finally, Finally, Finally. Photos, Tim Elstad during an interview and as a young student.
Tim Elstad, class of 1978, remembers playing football every afternoon with his friends, long before he was old enough to play for CSDB.
Photo, 1973 middle school football team. Snap zoom to Tim.
So he was thrilled when they could finally join the middle school team. By 1977, his senior year in high school, he was the quarterback for an undefeated team. In the playoffs, they beat Pete's and Custer County. Then, it was time for the state championship game against Simla.
Colorado Index articles and photo of Tim as quarterback. Archival film, 1977 championship game.
Teammates Ralph Ariano and Don Alsbaugh remember game day well.
Photos, Ralph Ariano and Don Alsbaugh during an interview and as high school students. Don in ASL, a man voices.
We woke up that morning, and it was so windy. Really windy. Probably 60 to 70 mile per hour winds.
Ralph in ASL, a man voices.
We couldn't kick the ball without it flying astray. We couldn't pass the ball either. So we just had to stick to running. When the wind blew, it was just sand and dust in the air. It was hard to see.
We were amazed. So many people came to watch. I had butterflies in my stomach, but I thought, it's all right, let's go. We're here to play. We won 22-16 against Simla.
Tim in ASL, a man voices.
When we were seniors, we won all of our games, and we won the state championship, and that experience and the journey getting to that was amazing. Starting with us just playing around together every afternoon, that helped us to actually win something really big.
State championship trophy. News articles and photos of the honorees.
Several CSDB players made the all-region and all-state teams. The Gazette-Telegraph chose Merle Mikado as Offensive Player of the Year. Coach Joe Cisneros was awarded Coach of the Year. He noted, "This is something new and exciting. It all has to do with a lot of nice people, a lot of nice boys." This kind of thing isn't possible without people knowing and caring about people.
A group photo of students waving, video of students using technology.
With the grooviness of the 60s and 70s coming to an end, the next decades would bring a wipeout-sized wave of technology,
CSDB goalball.
along with a new sport for students who are blind,
Photo of the 2004 Academic Bowl team.
and a huge academic team win.